Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Crooked Lines. My name is Karen Channing, and I'm excited to be back here with you today. Today, we're going to be doing something that I want to do, but I also don't want to do. We are going to be looking at what is sometimes called dopamine scrolling, different from doom scrolling, but related in some kind of ways with the chemicals that are being activated in us. So, I'm a little bit nervous about doing this, um, but I think that it could be helpful both for me and you. So we'll have a look, okay? And helpful, like if you're working in the therapy world, also helpful for your clients. Okay, so first things first, we are going to make an emoji. And it took me a long time to get my desk cam set up with the notebook that I'm going to make my bigger doodle in. So I'm going to do my emojis and my outmojis on scraps of paper. All right, let's see here. And I will hold these up for you. So do you remember what an emoji is? So grab a scrap of paper. Pause me if you need to. An emoji is a simple emoji doodle that you make at the beginning of something, checking in, getting present. How do I feel right now? So I just grabbed my clipboard on which I write my morning pages, and I'm just going to use my favorite precise V5 uh, pen to do my emoji. So how do I feel right now as I'm starting this video? I feel I feel good, actually. I was nervous a moment ago. Now we're doing it. We're just in it. So, oh, she doesn't have her glasses on. I mean, it doesn't not look like me. That's what I always say. Okay, so there's my emoji. That's how I'm feeling as we are starting this activity today. And it's such a helpful thing to do. You can use an emoji in a meeting. You can use it in a therapy session. You can use it when you start your day. You can use it to just take a doodle data collection. How do I feel when I'm starting something? How do I feel when I'm finishing something? And we'll do that part later. Super, super helpful little activity. Okay, ready? So listen, everybody, maybe not everybody I know, most people I know are dealing with their devices. Okay. In fact, I put this on airplane mode before I started this video so that I wouldn't get distracted and look at something. I've been susceptible to internety things ever since really I learned how to play Tetris, technology things, long, 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 long time ago, since the very first emails came around, right? And the only thing that was like sort of visually hooking us in at that time was that if you had a new email, it would be bold text, right? Like a new text message is now, like a new email is now. And even, 30 years ago, whenever that was, I was first coming across these things, I got pretty quickly susceptible to checking. Okay. Dopamine scrolling. Dopamine scrolling is what I call loops. It's when I reach for my device, not even thinking about it. I see it there, I touch it, and I'm looping through multiple apps or websites or something like this every time I grab it. Okay, I'm feeling feelings talking to you guys about this, but I think it's important. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to the desk cam. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Yes. Whoa. Trippy. Okay, let's see what happens here. I think it's trying to focus over here, but we want it focusing here. Okay, we'll do as best we can, right? Okay, so first things first, I am going to put a picture in the middle of my page here of my device, my main device. Uh, I also have a laptop, which has its own loop habits that maybe we'll get to now, maybe we'll get to another time. Okay, so I'm hoping that by this time you have grabbed your blank notebook and you're going to start to do this with me too, or watch me do it, and then you can do your own. You can pause and come back. Oh, I didn't leave enough room for all the letters there. Okay, my loops. And I want to make like some kind of crazy looking eyes and like a tongue hanging out of the mouth, sort of drooling. Ay, my loops. Okay. As if me just avoiding saying what my loops are. Okay, so this is how it usually goes, right? So think about this for yourself. You touch your device, your brain is wired now. Your brain is wired that there may be something important in there for you to see, that there may be something novel, there may be something information you need to know, and those bold letters on a text message, for example, fire something in your brain that tells you this is supposed to be important. You better pay attention, whether it's actually important or not. Okay, so for me, my loop when I pick up my phone usually starts with the texts. And let me just look at my phone and see what does that symbol even look like. It's so seductive. I use Google messaging and it has like a little quote bubble. That's the symbol for it. It's like a blue. I'm not describing this very well here in picture, but that's it. That is texts. Okay. What's the first thing that you grab when you're grabbing your phone? So the next thing that I go for in my loop, this total habitual loop, is WhatsApp. And that I know has a green icon. And oh, that's interesting. Okay, it's a similar kind of shape. It's like a quote bubble, but it's going the other direction and it has a phone, a picture of a phone in there. Okay, WhatsApp. And usually there's just even just one person that I regularly WhatsApp with, although I get other messages sometimes through that app. There's one person in particular that we leave each other voice messages and text messages like all day, every day for years. Okay, text, WhatsApp. Then sometimes I'll go to Signal. Not always. And I think maybe Signal is a similar thing. I'm looking at my phone while I'm making these pictures. Yeah, Signal is also a thing that looks like this, like a quote bubble, but it has little dots around it. Okay. I don't go to that always, and it's really interesting for me when I do because there's only a few things that I use through there too. Sometimes I go intentionally. My Grateful Meds meditation group, we have a group chat on there, so I'll go there intentionally for Grateful Med stuff. But because I don't use it for much, it's very interesting for me to notice that my body and brain sometimes are compelled to open that up anyway, because there's something in me that's like reaching for dopamine fulfillment and it thinks that it might exist. So dopamine fires when we're in anticipation of something. And if we don't get the thing that we're anticipating, our baseline goes down beneath goes down below normal. I'm not saying that's quite right. And so we have to keep reaching for things until we can get a little bit of that fulfillment, satisfaction, that other kind of dopamine of a closed loop, right? And so it's very interesting for me to notice, like if I've hit my text messages and I've hit my WhatsApp and I haven't gotten that fulfillment dopamine, I'm just running on that anticipation dopamine. I may sometimes open Signal, but I'm becoming more aware of it. And it's just really interesting to notice the feelings in the body and the way the brain's going, yeah, you want to touch that. Okay. Then um, the next thing is I would probably go to the Google, um, what is it called? The Google Chrome on my phone. Okay, so let me see. That's red. That's a bunch of colors. Red, yellow. You know what's so interesting about this to me is as I'm making these pictures, I'm actually looking at the apps instead of just kind of like randomly and sort of unconsciously going for them. So like it's interesting for me to notice like, oh, that's what those colors in the Google Chrome actually look like. I wasn't present to that because I don't really look at it consciously. I'm driven by there might be something in here that's going to fulfill that craving for dopamine fulfillment. Okay, so it looks something like this. I'm not going to take too much time on it. Google Chrome. So I don't even use email apps on my phone. If I want to look at my email on my phone, same with Facebook, I have to go in through the web browser. I don't really understand when people say if you want to prevent yourself from using something, take it off your phone. Well, if you can get onto it on your phone in some other way, I've always overridden that. I've told you I've been susceptible to this stuff forever. Okay, so within Google Chrome, then we've got I go to Yahoo Mail. And sometimes, sometimes I will open Facebook. Now that has changed a little bit in the last couple of months. The last time that I did my burnout recovery class, I gave myself a week to practice not scrolling, and I meant specifically on Facebook. Not just doing that kind of mindless scroll on there, the endless mindless scroll on there. And so I haven't actually been like scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. I don't know how to do this. There we go. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling on there. But I do notice if I'm doing a dopamine loop, if I'm doing dopamine scrolling, hitting multiple apps to see if I'm going to get a hit somewhere, I have noticed that I will open Facebook and look at the notifications and read whatever the top post is. So I'm like, I'm still not scrolling, but I am going in there lately and reading the top post and looking at what my notifications are because sometimes I'm posting in different places on there. So I'm like, oh, somebody might have wanted to interact with me. So, yeah, that is what that looks like there. Facebook and a little red notification flag. Let's see. I think that might be about it for my phone right now. And then I think what I could do just real quick is on my laptop. Well, the laptop is like the same things, but it's through the web browser mostly. So it's like tab, 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 tab. And it is compelling. I mean, I've got the Google Messages are on there, so I have a little tab that I can click and see it. I've got WhatsApp on there. Of course, I've got Chrome for email and that. And then when I'm on the laptop, then there's also, um, I don't know what color it is. I think it's multiple colors, right? But Google, I've got business emails. I've got Stripe where I can see if anybody's bought anything from me. But I will tell you that those loops, looping around the business stuff, I actually have a pretty good handle on because I created a schedule for it and I more or less stick with it because I really didn't want to have my business be something that I was um, going for that unconscious looping on. Um, But if I'm sitting in front of the computer and I'm really, really, really craving something and I've already checked all the other things, I may sometimes go, well, is there anything I need to look at under this or this? Not as much. Like I said, I've really set up some scheduling on that. And that's something we can play with more on this channel and just in general. I'll be talking about it in my upcoming class, Left to Our Own Devices. So I have to say this actually doesn't look too crazy right now. Um, I thought there was maybe going to be more stuff here, but I still don't love that I go through many of these things. Most of the time when I touch my phone, I go look at my texts and my WhatsApp. I don't keep notifications on for any of this stuff unless there's something specific I need to keep an eye on. But I will grab my phone so many times a day and go into these two things. So there was a while where I had been, I'm going to switch back to my view for now. Hang on. Hold the line. Hi. There was a while where I had made a really great schedule. Like I was saying, I started batching my business messaging to very specific times so that I wasn't dragging my kind of dopamine feeding into that setting. Um, and I started to do the same with my personal messaging and emails and whatnot. And then I went traveling. I think I shared about this in another video. I went traveling at some point. I had visitors and I just haven't gotten back to it, but I want to. So I'm kind of hoping that by doing this together with you here today, I'm just going to show you one more picture of my loops. And I want to know, what do your loops look like? What's your dopamine scrolling look like? What are the apps that you run between to see if maybe there's a little something there that'll give me that fulfillment side of the dopamine? What do your loops look like? What do they look like? My intention here also is that we're bringing some compassion, some awareness, some kindness to ourselves, but also some empowerment, right? Because device care is self-respect. And what I mean by device care is allowing our awareness to become attuned to what's actually going on for us. And then so we can make some choices. Little bit by little bit, we can start to take our power back from this highly unregulated situation that many of us are dealing with. So let's do the out emoji. I really hope some of you at least have made it this far in the video and are just taking a look at your loops. And please be kind to yourself. So let me see where that paper is that I had my Outmoji stuff on. Here we go. So let's see, how do I feel now? I'm going to switch things up a tiny little bit more too. In the world of crooked lines, it's really, really, really good to, play with different pieces of paper, play with different tools to make your doodles, to make your crooked lines. Oh, this is going to be confusing. But also to switch to the non-dominant hand, which I don't think we've done on this channel yet. So I'm switching to my non-dominant hand for my Outmoji. Okay, are you ready? All right, how do I feel right now? Um, I feel good, and I feel kind of like a little bit wondering, sort of like looking up, kind of like, I'm wondering how this video will uh, affect others, if it will make a difference for anyone. I sure am hopeful that it will. I'm wondering how it's going to affect me that I've done this now and that I'm sharing it with all of you publicly. Really great. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here and for playing along. Please do the subscribe thing if you enjoyed doing this. And what else? I will put in the video description ways that you can find books where you can do this kind of doodle prompt from the cozy of your own home, or you can share with others. And I will put a link to where you can take classes with me, therapeutic doodling for therapists. I teach continuing education. And what else? That might be it for now. I look forward to seeing you all soon, and we're going to keep on processing this together. I want to do a whole thing on text messaging and my feelings about it and what it feels like with my different parts and emotions to try to navigate messaging, but texting specifically. And that I think will be a really fun video too. So lots of love from me to you from Crooked Lines. This is Karen Channing, and I will see you soon. Bye. Thank you so much.